My name is Ron Kuhn. I work for the Institute of World Mission, and what I do is very interesting. Sometimes I ask people, have you ever heard about teaching people to adjust to other cultures? That's what I do. And we are actually having a training for people who are going to serve all over the world: doctors, dentists, engineers, teachers, administrators, people who moved from one culture, from one country to another country. And the question is, what does it have to do with sharing your faith? I would say everything, because if you don't understand the people you are serving, you want to live, you want to learn from them, you cannot share what you know, because you will be sharing in a very awkward way. For example, you arrive in a country that people don't touch each other. They don't greet with a handshake. They greet with a Y. And you want to hug, you want to handshake, you will not create a good impression. So why people have to learn about cross-cultural work, cross-cultural values, worldview, understanding of reality? Because you can be more efficient. You arrive and you know better. And then give you the initial tips and tools for you to adjust. Quite often we use the expression cultural shock. Why? Because there's so much you don't know that when you arrive and you start to live, you are overwhelmed with so many things you don't understand, and it creates a negative feeling, which can be said a cultural shock. Well, people will ask the following question: what is the best way then to share, to serve, to go somewhere else? As an international worker, as a cross-cultural service person. It could be for governments, for embassies, for United Nations, as well as for different churches. People want to know how they adjust to another place. The best way, of course, a part of training. We provide training, if you want to know more, we provide training for 3 weeks. And then people have the tools and resources to adjust to another place. The main question we ask is, how did God related to humans? Did God send an email with His plan, with His will, with His care and love? Did He send an angel? Did He send a book? All of this, maybe one could say, yeah, it's true. But God chose something far more effective, and that's what I want to share with you. He came to live with the people. He chose to incarnate in our reality. And then the question is, are we really following the example of Jesus? Are we incarnating in the reality of other people? Many times people go to serve in another culture and they bring loads of things, so they never detach from their culture. They are afraid to really adjust. Imagine if God would have done that. Jesus will have come to this earth with a huge escort of angels, many containers of supplies and goods. How would we feel? But He came and He became one of us. What an example. He is always the best example of service and incarnation. So therefore, the best way, a part of all the training one can get, is to go with an open heart, to go with a willingness to adjust. And the first prerequisite is you go as a learner. Forget your doctoral degrees. Forget your expertise, your titles and what you have done. The first thing when you move to another culture, you go as a learner. You learn so you can share. Then once you understand, you create bridges. That's what Jesus did. He learned. His stories, His examples, His parables were based on the reality of life. Why don't we learn from Him? So if you want to go as a learner. Incarnate in the reality of the people. Learn from them. Love them. Don't judge them. Suspend judgment of things you don't understand. And when you have learned enough, you will find ways and bridges to connect the gospel truth and the love of Jesus in a way that people will understand. And then the gospel will be meaningful to those who may have never heard, because they will see an incarnation of the love of God. May God bless you, all of us, as we cross boundaries to serve the needs of the world.